From NBC News, this is Today.
Also, do you eat family dinners every night?
You know what? Not every single, but we make it a real effort. I would say probably at least 5 nights a week, especially Sunday nights when no one has homework, we're sitting down. It's a big deal.
It's important. It's a great time also to teach your kids a little something about healthy eating. What's good for them, where food comes from, what's bad for them. So we're going to have some tips on that, but also getting your family around the dinner table and teaching your kids about eating healthy. We'll have advice on that as well right after these messages. I'll come back. I'll be back.
So when you get home. Back now at 8:11 this morning on Today's Family, teaching healthy eating from the start. If you're sitting around this morning still recovering from your big Christmas dinner, chances are your New Year's resolutions include eating better. But getting started is always tough, and the older you are, the tougher it is, which is why one program is teaching healthy eating to children before the bad habits set in. Here's NBC's Lee Cowan.
It's been said that too many of our youth these days think that milk comes from a carton, that vegetables live in plastic pouches in the freezer, and produce is an aisle in the grocery store.
$3.50 a half gallon.
But a growing movement across the country is trying to bring farm, food, and family back to the table again.
When you learn how to cook and you know how to cook and you're comfortable in the kitchen, that you're more likely to eat a healthy diet.
A salad. Who likes salad?
At this after-school program in Lexington, Massachusetts, 5th graders are fighting obesity by planning a party.
What kid doesn't like to have a party?
The goal of the intensive 5-week program is to connect kids to nutrition through organizing a meal for their parents, an all-natural meal, under the supervision of real chefs.
You know, if you can keep a bread for 5, 6, 10, 20 days and it doesn't turn bad, you don't want to eat that, right?
It's a soup-to-nuts experience, from slicing and dicing.
See how I rest the knife right against my finger?
To peeling and pounding, to blending a healthy smoothie.
It's gooey.
It's dubbed the Dinner Party Project, already in 50 cities around the country.
Oh my God, I love the smell.
Thought up 7 years ago by a group called Spoons Across America.
It's essential that we sit down with the family, even if it's once a week. Make it happen.
The theory is a family that eats together stays healthy together, and it's not just anecdotal. A recent study by Columbia University showed that teens who don't eat with their parents at least 3 times a week are more likely to use drugs, start smoking, and abuse alcohol.
Well, we're going to see how to cut apart a chicken.
But being connected to your food isn't always pretty.
Can everybody see where the bones are?
Gross or not, the ingredients here are the textbook. And in this age of going green, it's not just who grows the food, but where it's grown, which is where the local farmers market comes in.
The whole idea here is you plant a seed and hopefully they'll send the message across.
That message? Buying local doesn't just support the local economy, it's actually more nutritious too.
Not a lot of people know that nutrients are lost when they're, the apple or whatever is sitting on a truck crossing the country.
Just how far a carrot or a tomato actually have to travel before making it to market is a lesson a whole new generation of eaters is hearing from all sides.
Food that's grown locally and organically tends to have more minerals and vitamins, and that leads to better flavor.
That's what Chef Dan Barber teaches kids at his very own farm, the same one he uses to supply the restaurant where he works.
When you know your food more, it generally comes from closer to you, and that's generally creating an ecological impact that's pretty positive.
Kids gobble up that homegrown message.
That is cool.
And their parents say once they know where their food is coming from, they seem more willing to try new things.
He's made lunch for his sister and me after school a couple of times, completely on his own.
But the real lesson comes on the final night.
We have one more menu item we need to complete,
and that's the salad.
When all their shopping and chopping comes to a furious end as they gather their parents around the table, basically eat their homework.
How did you cook it?
And guess what? On the menu was genuine dinner conversation.
Well, organic food is generally fresher and better.
The cream, it seemed, had risen to the surface.
And suddenly I have a child who's very aware of the politics behind food and will try things now. He knows that one bite won't kill him.
Turns out you are what you eat, isn't a good enough slogan anymore. It's not just what you eat, but with whom that may count as much as anything.
Dancing in the kitchen, music's cooking, everyone's a chef.
For today, Lee Cowan, NBC News, Chicago.
Pretty cool. And coming up next, an extraordinary...